With us on this Sunday morning, I'm Tim Gordon. This morning on Sunrise, Portland has already seen 19 homicides so far this year. Details on the latest shooting, plus what police and activists are doing to try and put an end to the senseless violence. Plus, April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and the numbers aren't good for folks up in Washington. But before we get to all that, let's check in with Chris McGinnis for a look at that forecast this morning. Chris?
And today is going to look and feel a lot like yesterday, I think, if you like that sort of thing. Here's a look at radar right now. We are waking up to rain here. Portland, Vancouver, Hillsborough, Beaverton all getting wet as we zoom out and put this into motion over the last 3 hours. You can see it's not a steady rain. It's, we get a shower, we get a break, we get a shower, we get a break. The showers, snow showers, have been more continuous up in the Cascades, where the snow continues to pile up. And I did want to point out, too, anyone traveling to and from the Oregon coast today, this looks different than yesterday. The snow levels have come down just a little bit. So Highway 26 now snow covered going to and from Seaside this morning. The temperature there 32. And of course, the snow just is pounding the Cascades. There's a live look at Timberline. Winter storm warnings continue for the Coast Range, for the Cascades. Winter weather advisories for some of the higher terrain across Central and Eastern Oregon as well. There's a live look at Government Camp. Again, snow-covered roads getting over the mountain this morning. It's 41 with rain being reported at PDX, and the plan for today, a lot like yesterday. Showers, sun breaks, showers again. The heaviest showers will have some thunder and maybe some small hail with highs in the upper 40s. Tim?
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, we begin this half hour with an alarming number of overdoses in downtown Portland. Portland police responded to 11 overdoses on Friday. 3 of those people died.
We're not really sure what's behind that, but it is super concerning. And we're trying to get the word out that there may be some drugs that are circulating through the street that are particularly potent.
Well, at this point, we don't know much about these victims, though investigators confirm one was a 33-year-old man and another was a 25-year-old woman. Portland police suspect that the majority of these overdoses were a result of fentanyl. At least 6 of the calls, officers used Narcan to save people. Remember, if you are having a drug-related emergency or know someone else who is, call authorities. Oregon law grants immunity from drug-related offenses for those calling for emergency medical assistance.
Our primary concern is to get there and administer help for the person who's overdosing. We want to give them an opportunity to get medical care and get the help they need.
Police say one of the challenges they face is having enough Narcan available. Most officers in the Central Precinct have some, but it isn't spread all the way through the police bureau. More sobering numbers from Portland police. There have been 19 homicides in the Rose City so far this year, and 10 of them happened just last month. Blair Best has a look at the impact it's having on neighborhoods across the city and what activists are trying to do to stop it.
Shootings in nearly every corner of the city are leaving Portlanders on edge.
I understand how people are frightened here.
Absolutely, I would be if it was in my neighborhood.
The most recent happened in the Lentz neighborhood around 10:15 Friday night along Southeast Crystal Springs Boulevard. When officers arrived, they found one woman dead and the suspect gone. No arrests have been made.
It's terrible wherever it happens. I mean, it's not just us, it's all of Portland.
Last weekend, there were 4 confirmed shootings, including the deadliest one of the year, where 3 people died, including 2 Portland high school students. They were shot and killed in broad daylight Saturday afternoon while driving through the North Portsmouth neighborhood. No arrests have been made in that case either.
Shocked that this happened.
The very idea that this could happen, I hear witnesses here said there were 10 to 15 shots. That's a lot of bullets flying around.
A KGW crew was there when a family of one of the victims added flowers to this small memorial.
What I see out here is a lot of misery, a lot of sorrow, and mostly just a whole bunch of trauma for our youth.
Lionel Irving runs a nonprofit focused on curbing the city's gun violence, especially around young people.
So we can have that positive influence is contagious.
His nonprofit, Love is Stronger, is one of 4 groups getting $100,000 from the city for more outreach work.
It's a whole bunch of different ways that we could attack this, but we need to do it all together and cut all that red tape out of there. All that political games, all that wringing your hands while we write obituaries, we're tired of that.
Last weekend, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler took to Twitter calling the recent shootings devastating and pledged to work to restore peace in Portland. As for the police, they're connecting with students to try and prevent more violence.
Our children and our families' lives are on the line.
More activists held a virtual meeting this past week to try and put an end to the senseless violence. On April 15th, they're holding a community rally at Jefferson High School.
This is a call to come together as a community and to bring healing and peace and to work together.
Well, up in Seattle, a suspect is in custody for a shooting which left a man dead and a boy in the hospital. The victims were a 23-year-old man and his 9-year-old nephew. This happened in the popular Capitol Hill neighborhood. A 35-year-old suspect is in custody. Detectives are working to figure out if the suspect knew the victims and what led up to that shooting. Well, April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. The numbers are not good so far in 2023. The Washington State Patrol says it's pulled over more than 6,300 distracted drivers so far this year. They say that's more than a 45% higher rate than this time last year. So to combat the problem, the Washington State Patrol will have extra patrols for the next few weeks, specifically targeting distracted drivers. Troopers say prepare yourself before you even get into your car by knowing your route ahead of time and stowing your phone away.
We are putting extra patrols out across the state, and that is something that folks should be prepared for. You'll see additional troopers, and we'll be partnering with our allied agencies across the state to bring awareness to this problem.
And don't forget, distracted driving goes beyond just the cell phone. Eating, drinking, putting on makeup, grooming, talking to passengers, using the radio even are also considered forms of distracted driving. And also don't forget, it's time to get your studded tires off your cars. In fact, Friday was the deadline to remove them in both Washington and Oregon. Well, if you're caught with studded tires in Washington, the fine is $137. It's $165 in Oregon. And Chris McGinnis is here. And Chris, it just seems like some folks may not be ready for this change.
Well, yeah, and there are times that both ODOT and WashDOT extend the studded tire season, right? They did not this year, but maybe they should have. Let's check out some of the road conditions right now. Highway 26 going over the Sunset Rest area through the Coast Range. That is snow covered this morning. Note the temperature, 32 degrees. So we've got, icy roads there. Let's take you out to Eastern Oregon. I-84 out near Meacham. We had trouble there yesterday. The freeway actually there was closed briefly yesterday for some wintry weather. And you can see once again as we get up to near 4,000 feet, temperature down to 25. I-84 is snow covered in that part of the state. We'll switch gears and give you a look at Central Oregon. Highway 97 south of Bend. Again, up over 4,500 feet. It's 27 degrees there, and there's some snow coverage. And of course, getting to and from Central Oregon, Highway 26 right now over Mount Hood is a winter wonderland, right? It's really snowy, really wintry out there. So it does bring up the question, why are we, mandating taking the studs off right now? And we did get asked that question. Mark from Gilchrist, which is in Klamath County, says the problem is that ODOT doesn't care to mention that as the snow melts slowly over weeks of time, it creates large waterways that then refreeze every night through the month of April. Right now, that certainly does happen in portions of Central Oregon. This creates a lot of ice where people here use studded tires to navigate. So Mark goes on to say that the blanket rules that ODOT uses for the entire state without consideration that much of the state is at higher elevation is a problem for them out there. So I think Mark's got a point.
Yeah, he's making some good points for sure. So, yeah.
If you are headed out this weekend or the next 24 hours, just be aware. Higher terrain outside of the Willamette Valley, snowy and icy likely, especially overnights and early mornings.
For sure. Might have to get out the chains.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. All right. Coming up next on Sunrise, a new adventure in Portland. Local chefs and food enthusiasts are creating their own community. We're visiting the newest food card pot here in the Rose City.